So I want people to actually enjoy being in Costa Rica, not feeling like being in Costa Rica is something so hard and so terrifying and so expensive. I like when people actually come here in Costa Rica and they enjoy Costa Rica and they decide that this is their second home.
Right. Or their first home. Who knows?
Or their first home. Yeah, exactly.
Hello, welcome to Expat Diaries podcast. My name is Robin Wilson, and today we are chatting with Melissa Garita. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Just fine.
Perfect. And I was so interested. I wanted to have Melissa on the show because we were speaking about the legal issues that expats go through. And Melissa was in one of the Facebook groups that I'm in. And we got to talking about all of the things that maybe is misinformation for what we call ourselves gringos or expats in Costa Rica, and really just kind of going to clarify some things around that. So welcome, Melissa. I'm so happy to have you here today.
No, thank you so much for coming. It's a real pleasure to be here. Love your show, by the way. And yeah, I think that is really important for people to be aware of some situations or information that maybe help them to avoid war situations and make them enjoy more being here in Costa Rica.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me the name of your law firm.
Okay, my law firm is called Saggia Legge. It's an Italian name. It's called Wise Law. It will be in English.
Wise Law.
Yeah, Wise Law. Yeah, because in my law firm, we have people with years and years and years of experience. So I think that that's something that really rise up. So I decided to call it like that. We have office in Heredia. We have another office in Guapiles. And we are about to open another office in Guanacaste soon, hopefully. We see cases all over the country. We attend people all over the country. And yeah, we have a really nice fun with our expats clients, and we really enjoy giving them like some peaceful advice regarding their situation here in Costa Rica and some truths about the situation here in Costa Rica, so they don't get a scam or nothing like that.
Right.
The idea is for them to enjoy being here in Costa Rica, and hopefully more people would like to come here to Costa Rica.
I love that. It's funny because a lot of times I think that the message is given to expats that that maybe we're not welcome, right? That you're ruining our country, whatever. I literally had one guy tell me I had the wrong name for my podcast, that we were actually immigrants. We were not expats. And that we were gentrifying the country. So one of the reasons why I started this podcast, I was telling you yesterday, is I just really want to get good information to people who are considering moving and don't understand like the navigation. And I think about like in the US, whenever we have people that are coming to the US that are deciding to make the US their home, how nice it would be to have a law firm like yours that was like, just walked them through. You don't expect us to know everything, right? We hire the professionals because we don't know the law in this country. And we do want to abide by the law in this country. We do not want to be illegals, or we don't want to do anything outside of what the system is. We just don't know what it is. And so it would be great if people were coming to the US had that help as well. But while we're down here, like to come across yourself and your law firm is just really refreshing, because I've even had that experience myself with attorneys in country that I was not even sure they were representing my best interest. I wasn't sure they weren't representing their best interest. But that happens not just in Costa Rica, it happens in the US as well. And I'm sure it happens in Canada and every other country as well. So I know one of the things that your company really stepped in and helped when there was a huge law firm that left Costa Rica that was working on a lot of probably residency stuff for people that they thought they were in good hands. And this company just skedaddled to Panama and left all of this mess, and people didn't even know where they were at in the process. And you guys were really part of that cleanup process to come in there and help those people get back on path to residency. Is that right?
Yeah, there was this, as you mentioned, this really big law firm that unfortunately they went they broke and they just left the country, and there was like hundreds and hundreds of people with their processes pending, with their corporations pending, with their real estate pending.
Oh, wow.
So, and they didn't know anything about their process. They were like freaking out when they found out, because it was a massive message that came out that just they were out. Nobody was answering phones. Nobody was answering emails. So people start panicking because they already invest too much in this law firm to have their residence, their corporation, their real estate, and they didn't have an answer. So yeah, it was really hard. We tried our best to help as much people as we could. There were some cases where there was nothing else that we could do. Unfortunately, they lost their immigration cases, or maybe there was something pending and never presented.
Right.
There was some people that we actually get to help, that it was amazing to help them. They were so relieved that at least they got something to do. But yeah, it was really hard seeing all these people, hearing all these stories about people that make huge efforts because maybe they make a huge economical effort to hire an attorney to get in charge of this, and at the end they got like nothing. And so it is really hard. We at least that the people that we got to help was really nice meeting them, and they now are part of our law firm and our family. And luckily they are went through. They already have all the situations figured out. But yeah, it was like it is a huge responsibility when you in a Facebook group start promoting a law firm, and you start saying like this is the best law firm, because if this happens, people is going to go against you. Like, hey,
Right.
you referred law, you put it like this was the law firm of this Facebook group, and there was a lot of people in that position. So I think that well, yeah, I we tried to do our best. We
Right.
understand the situations, and we wanted people to stay in Costa Rica, not to leave Costa Rica.
Right. You know,
Uh,
you said something yesterday when we were talking, and I really liked it because I don't think a lot of attorneys would say this, and you saying that just kind of really lent itself to your integrity. And you said to get a second opinion on all transactions, get a
yeah,
second legal opinion, even if they are with another attorney, that they should seek out another legal attorney, another legal opinion on the interpretation of how this process is going.
yeah. Actually, it's both beneficially for both parties, for the client and for the attorney. Because for the client, it is important to have more than one opinion, because you don't know if you're meeting somebody, an attorney, you don't know if the attorney is actually looking for your interest or looking for his own interest. So if you get a second opinion, at least you have a better criteria to take
Right.
the decision. Do I feel confident about what I hear here, or do I feel confident with what I heard over here? So at the end, you get the chance to have a better criteria to choose the attorney that you feel more confident about, or that you feel that is looking after your interests.
Right.
So I always like when a client comes in and requests some legal situation, and I always say like, okay, that's my position, but I encourage you to go and find another attorney that and see if it matches mine, if it's better, because at the end, if the client returns, it's because he had a better criteria
Right.
and he decided to choose us. And if it's not, it's because he finds something else where he felt more comfortable. The idea is for you to trust your attorney. You have to trust it. And to trust, you have to have a better criteria, like a bigger
For sure.
criteria.
For sure. And so, like, I know that it seemed to me in some of the transactions that we had looked at that we were doing in Costa Rica, the costs seemed to be exorbitant, just super high. And like even higher than what we would see in the States, especially for like some real estate transactions and some escrow transactions were like a lot more expensive than they are here in the States. And is that really like, and so what I heard back whenever I kind of questioned the dollar amount that was put out there was That's what the country allows us to charge. We can charge up to this dollar amount. But do you have to charge that high of a dollar amount, or is they just maxing out what the country will allow?
Well, we have a disposition of how much we should. That's the bare minimum that we should charge.
Right.
The idea is to avoid unloyal competition between lawyers trying to just offer for free the work. But yeah, we do have like a standard amount. I always like when I have, for example, real estate transaction. We do a lot of those here in Costa Rica. So when my client comes in, we have this document where it says, okay, for this transaction, this is what you're paying for this tax. This is what you're paying for this tax. I explain everything so the client totally understands what he is paying and why does the law allows me to charge this as fees, and this is the fees that I can charge you. Because at the end, you have to understand what you're putting your money into.
Right.
You have to be secure about what you're putting your money into. So we have a bare minimum that we have to respect. Sometimes when you have clients that you have so many time with, you try to make them like, okay, if you're doing a lot of stuff with us, maybe we can try to minimum that. But sometimes people have come here and they say, no, it's because they say that because we are expats, there's another charge for us. And no, it's the same one for everybody inside the country. Like you, for being an expat, doesn't have to be charged higher than somebody that is actually living in Costa Rica. It's the same price. Like it's the same table for everybody. So what makes the difference, for example, is there are so many attorneys that doesn't speak English, and there are some attorneys that do speak English. Speaking English is not a requirement for the attorneys here in Costa Rica. So when you get an attorney that speaks another language besides Spanish, that is considered like a plus. You're getting an attorney that actually speaks your language and can understand you and can explain you in detail whatever you need. Also, there are so many attorneys that has like studies outside of the country, or they have, for example, experience in other countries' law. So that's pluses, but that doesn't have to represent that you have to be overcharged for that. I think that a client should be seen as a client, like somebody that is seeking for help, not somebody that you're trying to get money off it.
Right. So in real estate transactions in the U.S., and I can't speak for other countries, I just handled a lot of real estate transactions in the U.S. We would get ahead of time. So let's say that I decided to buy this piece of property, and then I come to you as my attorney and go, I'm looking to buy this piece of property. Please help me with this transaction. Ahead of time, like as soon as we started this, what we have in the United States, which is kind of like your escrow office, but it's like our title company. So attorneys and escrow are combined. They would give you what's called a good faith estimate. And you would get like a itemized list of this is probably what the transaction is going to cost you when we get to closing on it. And I haven't experienced that in Costa Rica. I don't find out until like the day that you need to send money. Okay, now this is going to like no idea. Like I had no idea whether it would be $5 or $20,000. Like no heads up whatsoever. So is that something that typically is practiced, and maybe I just got missed on that?
No. For example, when somebody comes here like, hey, I'm looking into this property, I would like to see, okay, you already make the whole study and you say, okay, these are going to be your closure costs.
Right.
So this is going to be the amount that you're going to be charged, for example, for a purchase option agreement. This is going to be the price that you are going to be charged for the title transfer. And this is divided in this tax. Because what makes it expensive actually is because Costa Rica has many taxes regarding properties. And with properties like luxury properties, it's even more. And things like that. So we always explain, it's not only giving the amounts, it's sitting with your client and explaining, okay, this is for this, this is for this, this is for this. So he actually knows before, and he can take a decision like, yeah, I can pay the property, but this is going to maybe be even higher than I expected. Maybe I can look to another property that's going to be lower in taxes. So it's part of informing your clients. So no, you have to receive that information right in the beginning of your transaction. You don't have to wait until the last day.
We got it the day that they told us what to wire in. And we're like, what the heck? Like, that was an additional $20,000 that we didn't know. Not that we didn't know about, but we didn't know like how much it was going to be. It was just kind of, we were kind of basing it off of what our experience was, and there was no pathway that was led for us. So another thing that you and I spoke about yesterday was being able to request copies of all documents in your language.
Yeah. We understand that in Costa Rica law, all contracts should be signed in Spanish because it's the official language. Right. That doesn't imply that you cannot get a copy in your own language before signing. So what does that help? For me as an attorney, it helps me to say, okay, I explained it to her. I gave her a copy. She had it in her language, so she was aware of what she was signing.
Right.
And for you as a client, you can say, okay, I review it. Okay, this is exactly what I'm going to sign. So it gives you that confidence that you're making a deal that you totally understand.
Right. So because otherwise we're just working off of trust. Like, I trust that you've given me a legal document that is exactly what we spoke about. But if you can't read Spanish, like, that's just a huge vulnerability.
Yeah. That also has a lot to do. And that's another topic that we touched yesterday with, for example, when you're working with real estate agents. Mm-hmm. In Costa Rica, we don't have like the requirement for real estate agents or brokers to have a license. Like in the United States, I know they do.
Right.
But one thing that is going to make you see that maybe you're working with the correct real estate agent is because it's somebody that first is going to have contracts. Contracts is going to give him and you different obligations and also different responsibilities regarding the transaction. Also, usually the real estate agents and the brokers, that at least the ones that work here in Costa Rica, deliver in Spanish and in English. They always request us to one in Spanish, one in English, depending on the clients, of course. So the clients actually knowing what they are signing. Right. It's not just signing for signing. I mean, there's a lot of responsibility when you sign a document here in Costa Rica. So you should be 100% sure about what you're signing. You don't have to go and blind sign anything.
I agree. I love that. That was like so important. Like, I didn't know that I had that option. So I appreciate that information. Not all things that an attorney can help you with has to cost money.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do without an attorney helping you. Good. And people here doesn't know that. And they go like, not knowing makes them being charged even more. Like when you mentioned the Facebook group, so many times if people were just asking like, where's the number of the call center to make your appointment at immigration? That's an easy answer. 1311. There's nothing that is going to take me like 2 minutes to type in. But there's people that it doesn't want you to know that it's 1311. It prefers you to hire them to give you the answer that is 1311. So there's a lot of things that experts can do here without it having to hire an attorney. Getting your appointments at immigration, getting your appointments for a driver's license. That's all on the website. That's all online. You can do it yourself. You can, even now with this platform, Legge, expats can just send their own request for residency. There's all the system is guides you, like says, okay, photocopy of your passport, upload. Photocopy of your birth certificate, apostle, upload. Request of residency, upload. Like the system is really nice. Actually, it's really easy to handle.
Really streamlined.
Yeah, and there's also many tutorials on YouTube that actually immigration has uploaded, which explains how to use the system. So that doesn't mean that you have to do it on your own. But if you cannot afford what an attorney has to charge you, you can do it yourself, and the system is going to guide you to what to upload, what to do. Some people do it Some people hire attorneys because they prefer. No, I prefer to the attorney to do it because he already knows, and maybe I'm going to miss something, or no, I don't want to deal with any of that. I prefer an attorney to deal. Okay, that's fine, but you have to be aware that you're able to do it on yourself for free. like there's so many things that people can do here for free that they should be aware of. Like, for example, we handle a lot of litigation here in Costa Rica. I myself, I'm a criminal lawyer, and we handle a lot of litigation. But for example, some expat that is living here needs to have like a pension for the father of his child here in Costa Rica. Free attorneys at the court for that. You don't have to pay an attorney. Maybe they were, and the court, if you don't understand Spanish, the court is going to name you a translator to help you.
Wow.
So, yeah, exactly. For example, labor law. If your employee that was fired, and that you didn't receive your payments for this for your job, the court has free attorneys to handle your case in labor law. You don't need to go. You just missed your job, your income. How you're going to go and pay an attorney? So the court gives you an attorney for free to handle your case. And again, if you don't understand Spanish, the court has the obligation to hire a translator to be with you in every step of the way. So
I love that.
Or even, for example, yeah, so there are so many things, not everything. There's a lot of stuff of litigation that actually do requires an attorney, but there's a lot of things that doesn't. So also people should be aware of this. People should, and they have the right. If you come to the office and you ask me, okay, I give you the whole the whole interview, we spoke about your case, you are entitled to ask me, is there a way for me to do this without an attorney? And I am obligated to tell you if there is one.
Nice.
Because I'm not obligated to you to explain everything, how to do it on your own. But yes, I am obligated to tell you that there is a way to do it on yourself. And you can look for it. Like, for example, there's a lot of things regarding local governments that you can just download the documents from the local government website, tax declaration, tax accessions. You can download the document, just fill it out and present it to the local government. So, and people should be aware of this. Like, it's not charging just to make an income for us. It's actually giving a service. That's what we are here for. And the service includes the human part. And the human part is understanding that not everybody is in the position to pay a fees for an attorney, because we understand that it's expensive. Right. We understand that it's not social work that we do. But people should be aware that there's options that they can do it for free.
Right. And you know what I find, Melissa, whenever I offer, like in the business that I do, so I do social media marketing, and whenever I offer to show someone how they can do that themselves, even though I teach them how they can do it themselves and I give them that power to know that they can, they're like more likely to come and hire me for my services because I was willing to show them that. Now they may want to know how to do it, but they don't want to do it. And so I've always found that, like when I go to teach or I go to show somebody how to do their own social media marketing, and I may even give them a booklet that has all of the instructions. Here's how you can go do XYZ and have engagement through the roof, and your social media will be on fire. That's how it will be. It'll be making money all day long. And then they'll go, great. And they'll look at it for just a minute and their eyes will gloss over and they'll go, well, what's it cost if you do it for me? You know what I'm saying? And so I love that. A lot of people don't understand that when you give, meaning $0, I'm not selling you something, I'm giving you something. The world just gives back to you freely. And the minute that you start hoarding and grabbing and being stingy and greedy, then the world starts being stingy and greedy towards you as well. So I love that your guys' philosophy is really the human and making that experience and, you know, making people who want to come to this country, making it not the world's hugest hurdle to do. Like, let us make it easy for you. Let us show you the easy way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the best part. And what I do love is that most of my expat clients, they have referred me more expat, but it's for the trust that they have in us. Like the real estate agents that I work with, they are amazing. They are always like so happy with us. They're like, whatever you said is okay, and they trust us in that way. And to win trust of somebody is something so valuable that you shouldn't take it just for granted and just ruin it with putting more zeros into an account. That's not the thing. We understand that with the language barrier, there's a lot of stuff that is going to be get missed. But we also, for example, in our Facebook page or Instagram, we are constantly posting like tips. For example, if you're going to go into investment to real estate, here are some tips that you might know. Like, for example, we have a national register. When if you can check the property there to see if the property has something on it,
Right.
and that's for free. You don't have to be. That's something you can do right yourself.
Right.
Cosevi, when you're going to buy a car, you can go to Cosevi and just put the plate number, and you're going to see that the car has had some accidents or is involved in some sort of issue with a collision. So there's things that we're constantly uploading because those are things that you can do.
That is super important. And I'll drop the links to their social media in the show notes below so that all of you who are watching can go out there and consume this great value that they're adding so that you can know the places to find the stuff that you can do for free.
Yeah, exactly. And for example, with corporations, there's a huge issue constantly with corporations. People are coming and they got this idea that if I buy the property inside the corporation, it's going to be lower because it's not going to be a transfer title. It's just going to be the transfer of the corporation. Be aware that corporations that are sold carry whatever they had in the past with them. So, for example, we had a case of a client that bought a corporation with a property on it. The property is amazing. It's in an Airbnb, a really successful Airbnb. But turns out that a couple of months after they buy it, they find out that the property is going into an auction. And they were scared, like, we just bought this property. How is it possible that it has a lawsuit on it? And what happened that the corporation had a pending lawsuit, a labor lawsuit with a previous co-worker that they had. And they lost the case because they never interacted in the court. They lost the case. And they were auctioning the property as a way of procurement for the lawsuit. And it was a huge deal. At the end, we managed, luckily, to save the property and fix everything. But there is a risk that you take, and you have to be aware of that. And your attorney should tell you and warn you about buying a corporation. It's not just a corporation. It's not just what you see on the books. There's more than things that you have to track on to make sure that everything is fine. Now, for example, that's something. If you're watching this and you have a corporation, every year your corporation have to present a declaration of beneficiaries. That's for the transparency law and law against what we call here washing money.
Laundering, yeah.
Yeah, launder money. And so every year the corporation has to present this declaration. It's not just paying taxes. It's presenting this declaration. It's basically just saying who has the shares of your company, who has it. That's you're going to go into a system, and the system is going to tell you, okay, how many shares of this person has, how many this one has. That's something that you have to do every single year. That's something was approved like 5 years ago, I think. So what happened? Most corporations are pending on them, and that they don't know it because nobody told them, and now they are getting penalties for that. Because if you do it, you receive a penalty. And for example, if you don't pay your taxes, you're going to get a penalty as well, and your corporation is going to get dissolved with everything that is on it. So. Be always spending on the tax things that has to do with Hacienda. Now, this declaration was supposed to start this next Monday, but yesterday we received an email from Hacienda that is telling that it's going to be on October because they weren't ready. So they are going to do it in October. So you're going to have from October 1 to October 31, I think that is October, to present this declaration. This is presented online. If you don't have a digital signature here in Costa Rica, you can hire an attorney with a full power. That's a change that came this year. Last year was a special power. This year is a full power to the attorney. So the attorney can go in with this digital signature and present your beneficiary declaration.
And you can only have a digital signature if you're a resident, correct?
Correct. Only residents and residents that have the residency not expire, and you can Bank San Jose, Banco Costa Rica, Banco Popular, all of them, and Banco Nacional, all of them give digital signatures. So you can just request an appointment with any of those banks, the banks of your preference. The prices are about $60 currently, and they're going to give you an appointment. They are going to give you the digital signature with the things that you connected to the computer, and that's it works. You don't need an attorney to get you an appointment for a digital signature. That's something you can do on the call center or online. That's something that you can do on your own. And it's going to help you a lot with a lot of transactions, because a lot of transactions now are requesting to have a digital signature. So that's something also I would encourage a lot of people to have.
Love it. So if you had some tips that you wanted to give to expats, and you go, these are probably my top tips that you should know about the law in Costa Rica or about any legal transactions that I may have, what would those be?
Okay. First of all, the one that you already told, second opinion. Always get a second opinion. Nobody should feel insulted or anything like that just because you want a second opinion. That's your right, and that's something that actually I encourage you to do. Seek for a second opinion.
Yeah.
Second, languages. You request always a copy of every document that you're going to sign before signing it.
Yeah.
In your language. If you're able, please look for an attorney that actually speaks English, because there's a lot of people that say they speak English and they barely understand English. Look for somebody that actually speaks English. That is going to give you a lot more confidence, and you can request, okay, before signing, I want this document in my language so I can understand what I'm signing, and that's your right. Another one would be when handling real estate. Again, we don't have as a requirement here for licensing brokers or real estate agents, so please look for background. Like these people, for example, we have a lot of international brokers here in Costa Rica right now. They have background. You can just check the background. Okay, they have a established company. Are they secure? Are they giving me contracts, or they are just going to do it without a contract? That's something super risky. Please don't do it. Always have a contract with your real estate agent. And that is something that is also going to give you some confidence when you see a real estate agent that uses contracts. That is not just his word, because that's really tricky. Please avoid that. Shouldn't be difficult or extremely expensive to do anything here in Costa Rica. So make sure that when you are requesting, or when you request a legal procedure, ask your attorney, is there anything here that I could do for free that is going to be to lower my expenses? The attorney should be it's obligated actually to tell you if there is something that you could do that it could help. For example, maybe you can provide some information or some documentation that is going to lower the charges. So and that's completely fine.
Right.
Again, if you're going to buy a corporation, please seek out for the risk of buying a corporation here in Costa Rica before doing it, and please be aware of the yearly and monthly obligations that every corporation has. So you can avoid some penalties and then have to pay even extremely high penalties for just avoiding this. So also, if you're not capable of paying a lawyer to get your residency, go to the page of Trámite Ya. There are so many YouTube videos that shows you how to do it. And you can easily find your way. The system is really, really, really easy to handle. At the beginning, everything is complicated when you're the first time that you're opening it, but you will see that the system guides you, like name, passport number, expiration date, mother name, and all this. So you don't have to be so like in the need of an attorney. Like if you go to an attorney because you actually choose to go to an attorney, because it's the only option that you have.
Right.
Also, sometimes when you are in real estate, there's a lot of people that has this weird idea that properties that has litigation pending are impossible to sell. That's totally wrong. Like, we have sold properties with plenty litigation cases on it. It's just a matter of looking for attorneys that actually know about litigation that would tell you, okay, yes, these cases can be closed, these cases can be fixed. Yes, this property can be actually purchased. It's not like as easy as a clean property, but it's possible.
Nice.
At court, I always ask if there's a way for you to get a free attorney if you're not capable of paying for one. And if you're going to pay for one, please make sure that it's somebody that actually understands your language and that you can speak freely with this person and that you can understand what this person is saying, because this person has your life, your belongings, everything is, and you must trust this attorney. There are a lot of administrative tasks that you can do by yourself at local governments, for example, getting permissions or license when all these expats that are making amazing places to hang out in here in Costa Rica that I love always to go. You bring so much culture and richness to the country in that space. Like, people coming from Barbados opening a coffee shop here with all that things, or people opening a restaurant with a lot of things from, for example, Texas. We love that. But just be aware that there's a lot of things in the administrative side that you can do by your own, that you don't need necessarily to hire an attorney. And look at it at the websites. They always say, like, download the documents here, and so you're going to see it, and you can use Google Translator to translate it and see what they are asking you for. So not so hard. If you don't feel confident, so go ahead and hire somebody. But if you feel confident, go ahead. And most places, it used to be in the past that most of these places weren't so nice with people, and they were kind of grumpy when people come and asking questions. But no, there's also nice people that is willing to help you and try to understand you. The issue there is that they don't have as a requirement to speak another language, so maybe you won't find somebody that speaks English or whatever your language is. But there's ways. There's always ways.
Absolutely.
And always use, like, there are a lot of public places where you can track properties, cars, and everything before purchasing, to make sure that you're buying it directly from the owner. Make sure that you're buying it from the owner, otherwise you're getting into a scam. That you're actually buying something that is free of any sort of issues or things like that. And also, you can actually keep the track. Okay, this went to my name at some point, because there's a lot of people who say, I buy a property, but this property never shows up as his name on the website. So what's going on here? There's an issue here. There's something that I have to be paying attention here. So those are things that you can do for free online without needing an attorney. That just in the case that you don't understand the system or that you feel doubts about it, you should seek for the legal counsel. But otherwise, you can do it for free. And that's something that I think that I like when I go to different countries and I feel welcome and I feel this warm feeling, like this is some place that I feel comfortable. But I know also how it is to go to a country where I don't know much of the culture, much of the language, and I feel kind of lost. Look for somebody that shows you instead of just try to get something from you. But I hope for everybody that comes to Costa Rica to feel welcome, to feel this amazing place, because I do love my country a lot.
For sure, I do too.
Yeah, and to enjoy this country as much as I do. Like, this is a really nice place to live. This is a really nice place to retire, to set up your business. There's so many nice places here to visit, to be in. So I want people to actually enjoy being in Costa Rica, not feel like being in Costa Rica is something so hard and so terrifying and and so expensive. I like when people actually come here in Costa Rica and they enjoy Costa Rica and they decide that this is their second home.
Right. Or their first home. Who knows?
Or their first home. Yeah, exactly. Like nobody should feel like
Unwelcome.
unwelcome. And that term that you used at the beginning, I have heard so many times about the gentrification.
Right.
I think that is so badly used currently. That's not actually the what it meant. I think that richness in culture makes us better. So welcome all the expats and welcome all the new business that you want to set up here in Costa Rica. I hope they all grow and grow and grow and grow and get better. Yeah, but this is not gentrification. This is just people that fell in love with
progress. It's just progress. It's like gentrification insinuates that we're coming in and we're going to raise everything up so high that the locals can't afford to live there anymore, and that we're just going to make it so much better that now it's like America here in this city, and we've made it so that there's no locals. And I know I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself and go, that's not what I want. I want to come peacefully live amongst the people that I've come to love so much and their cultures and their ways. And I don't want a stucco house. I don't want anything that looks like anything I lived with in the US in. I want to live in a country and have everything just be as much the same. And then how can I raise an economy there, though? How can I create jobs for the locals? How can I create stimulus in a city that I love? How can I make things better for even the other business owners that are there? That's what I would look for, not to raise prices. I don't want anything to be higher. I don't want anything to be so that I can't sit down and have a coffee with a local because they can't afford the coffee. You know what I'm saying? That's never what my goal is. So, Melissa, I appreciate all the time that you've given me today. I know that you have a thriving business to run yourself. I'm going to put all of the links to everything that Melissa spoke about in the show notes below as soon as she sends them to me on WhatsApp. And if you would like some quality and compassionate legal services, I would highly recommend seeking Melissa and her partners out. I've gotten such a strong sense of that they are so people-centric, meaning they're just so focused on the people more than they are on the transaction. And I know in my business, that's how I run my business. I'm always human capital first. Who are the humans first? And then what is the goal we're trying to achieve second? So, Melissa, thank you so much. I appreciate your time this morning.
No, thank you so much, Robin. It was really a pleasure to be part of your show. And I really hope everybody can just have this easy, like I saw your videos, I saw what you're doing. That's amazing what you're doing for other experts here in Costa Rica. Try to explain them, try to show them. That's amazing what you're doing here. And I hope for everybody to just feel welcome in Costa Rica. And thank you so much for the opportunity to be on your show. Hoping to see you soon in the future.
Absolutely. Face to face.
Yeah. Coffee.
All right. Yeah. So everybody remember, if you know somebody who's looking to relocate to Costa Rica, whether it be temporary or permanent, you want to share this podcast, send them a copy of it, subscribe, do all of the things just to be able to get them the information that they need. And for everybody out there who's just tuning in and just dreaming of the transition to Costa Rica someday, pura vida.